What's going on, Lights Out Faithful? I wanted to make you guys aware of something before we jump into the episode. The final Low Tide City will be taking place May 11th through the 12th of 2024 in the beautiful Kalahari Resort located in Round Rock, Texas. That's right, Texas, baby. You can head over to start.gg/lowtidecity2024 to learn more about it, or click on that beautiful QR code right on the screen. Just go ahead and scan that and you can get all the information you're looking for. This has been a staple event for many years in the community, so we want the last one to absolutely go out with a bang. And who knows, you might even see your boys from Lights Out there as well. But without further ado, enjoy today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to Lights Out episode 48? I think it's 48. I'm pretty sure it's 48. If it's episode 48, that's awesome. If not, then welcome to whatever the hell episode it is. But if you've been a follower, a watcher, a viewer for a long time, and you still have yet to commit to hitting that subscribe button, please, now is the time to subscribe. Okay, things have never been more chaotic. We got Cosmos somewhere off in another country. We got Light literally behind the wheel filming this. And we have me, who has lost his best friend as Charles has moved back to Hawaii. So there's a lot of different things going on right now, and your support would mean the world to us, including support like, I don't know, checking out our Patreon. We are very close to the big 50 number. That's 50 patrons, and we're going to be doing our tier list episode exclusively on Patreon, so consider checking that out. We would appreciate it a lot. But without further ado, let me turn my attention to my compatriots who have joined us, Cosmos and Light. I'll start with Light for obvious reasons. Light, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I'll take a big chicken with only cheese and a small fry. Oh, what's up, guys? Yeah, so as you can see, I'm doing this in my car because I still don't have an apartment. So yeah, I don't know how we got here, but this is where we're at. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So is that where you live?
No, I live in the house over there, but I don't want anyone to geoguess my location, so I'm all set on that.
That's smart. And it's raining too, so it's that much more harder. Like, guys, if there wasn't a reason for you to support the Patreon, then I don't know what to tell you. This man needs a home. He needs some additional funds. Help his ass out. This is tragic. He's only going backwards. That's not true. I have proof this time that's not true.
He still hasn't paid us.
You're full of shit. I keep receipts.
I'm with you, Cosmos.
I'm doing pretty good. Still in Mexico, doing my thing. Nothing really to go over. I'm still doing my. Actually, in about 2 weeks or in a week and a half, I'm gonna be out of Mexico. I'm gonna be going to Cirque, and then I'll be at Nara's house for a week. Then I'll be at Collision. Then I'll be back in Ohio for like a few months. So I'll be stationary for a little bit.
Wait. Question. When you leave Cirque, are you going back to Mexico?
When I leave Cirque, I'm going straight to Nara's house.
Okay, and then you're going to Collision. Okay. I understand.
Then I go to Ohio.
Gotcha. I'm getting that timeline. I'm getting that timeline ready for sure. Now, Light, will you be attending Cirque as well?
Yes, I will be at Cirque. I will also be at the Invitational. It's going to take place the day before Cirque.
Yep.
So that should be a good weekend. And I will also be at Collision. This one's honestly a pretty stacked month for Smash as a whole, because we have Cirque, which is leaning to be an A or A plus tier. We have Collision, which I'm gonna guess is gonna be somewhere to S plus, and then there's also at the end of the month going to be Battle of BC, which I do not know if I'm going to, but nonetheless we'll have a lot of attendance. It's gonna be super stacked.
Yeah, March is definitely going to be a very stacked tournament. I don't think I'm going to Battle BC either, but I know that they just announced like Torigiri, the banjo player from Japan. I think it's going to be his first time in America, so that's going to be kind of crazy. But
wait,
there is definitely for Battle of BC, he's going to that tournament.
Not America. He gonna be in Canada.
All right, fucking same thing, bro.
No. You know what? You're close. You're thinking NA, which is a subsection. It's
yeah, exactly. Canada is America. I'm not about to let you gaslight me.
Well, hold on now, player.
Canada is part of North America.
There's some gray area to cover there, but yeah, sure. Togagiri is going to be, or TG, will be attending the Banjo Sensation. You know, something about Battle BC.
Hero character?
Hey, listen, he's going to be the hero of that tournament. There's something about Battle of BC, I'll give them credit for. They always get a first-time Japanese player over. Last year, it was Yoshidora. This year, it's TG. I think that's pretty hype. I'm looking forward to watching that and kind of previewing some of these things. Now, if you guys actually don't end up going, you know what we should do? We should do a lights out watch party together.
Yeah, from my car, right?
We're good. Support the Patreon, get this man a home, or at least a hotel.
I'm down. I'd be going to a regional that Saturday, but I think Sunday would work.
We could do a live podcast, and during the podcast, I'll be driving to Battle of BC.
You know, that's actually acceptable if somebody else was answering the chat and you weren't answering the chat. You can get away with that.
I'm driving right now. More importantly, though, we did have some events happening in the last weekend. It's called King Kong, right? First of all, do we know who took the flight from Genesis to King Kong? Was it Neo?
Yes, it was Neo. So and then before we dive into King Kong, I want to dive into the events leading into King Kong, okay? I have a theory, and I want you guys to tell me if you think I'm crazy or not. I don't think I'm crazy. There was a pre-local that happened for King Kong. In attendance was Sparg0, MKLeo, Neo, and some other players, right? Neo, remember, Neo is floated to the first seed automatically because at Genesis, he got 5th place, and the 4 people before him, including the other 5th placer, yourself, like, declined to go to France because it was just such short notice. But Neo,
which is still really weird.
Right. But Neo, that could be gaming. So he was like, I'm going. So they floated him, right? Neo loses early in the pre-local. Okay, he loses early in the pre-local. Okay? I don't know who he lost to, but he lost. And then proceeds to make a lose. And then proceeds to make a losers. Jesus Christ. Proceeds to make a losers run, right? Going through the likes of, I think the person who ended up beating him, I think he beat Leo and then Sparg0 twice. It was Corin Ditto. Sparg0 did not take it off. I have a theory. I think that they rigged it so that Neo won that pre-local to further solidify and justify his first place spot in King Kong. You can't have your first seed going out at a pre-local in like 7th place. It's a horrible look. So I think something happened. They was like, some slide somebody a little something, money or some francs, whatever they use over there, euros. And they were like, look, we're going to let Neo take this one. Everybody's still going to make money, but this will strengthen the legitimacy of having him as our first seed. That's my tinfoil hat theory. Gentlemen, what do you think about it?
Yeah, sure. Or maybe everybody else was just going their secondaries and he was actually playing his main. Maybe that could have happened too.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's a pre-local. Does anyone really care about that?
Leo went Byleth and Rob. Sparg0 went Corin the entire time. He beat him in the Corin Ditto. I don't know who else he had to play, but I'm not surprised if he beat anybody else after getting 5th at Genesis.
Is this podcast keeping track of pre-locals now? Because I quit.
Listen, it was just something that I was theory crafting in my mind. I just wanted my 2 astute cohorts to give me their opinions. That's all.
I mean, you might have a point because we do know that French people are known for rigging brackets.
He's out of here.
Facts. That's real shit.
So, I mean, if they could have done that, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they rigged a bracket for another player, man. They got favorites over there.
They love Japanese players.
On Twitter.
That was just my tinfoil hat conspiracy. I'm sure it didn't actually happen, but it's fun to speculate. But as you're bringing up, Light, let's talk King Kong. Okay, I know you have a lot of thoughts about that. Leo took it over Sparg0 and Raflow and Apollo Kage, the kid. Players of that caliber were in attendance, Mars as well. What do you think about MKLeo taking down King Kong? Like, let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I'm just going to be real. MKLeo really pissed me off because, it's cool that he won, but why have to wait until I talk shit to win? Like, I've been supporting this dude for like a straight year. Like, I believe. And the one time I'm like, I don't think he's going to do it anymore, guys. He goes and wins a tournament. I'm like, it's like he's trying to make me look like a dickhead. I don't fuck with that, Like, it's bad timing. But I mean, I am happy for him. I'm happy that he won. I heard he went all Joker that event, which, wow, big surprise. He locked in playing one character like we talked about, and he got some damn results out of it, you know? So I'm not really surprised about that. I'm happy he did it. Spargo losing is what's more surprising to me. Like, Leo getting the grand finals, I think could always happen. But it's a little weird with Spargo because Spargo is just super consistent. So sometimes I don't think he's going to lose. I'm starting to think Spargo might have like a bit of like a mental thing with Leo. Does anybody else see that? Like, he looks at Leo in a certain standpoint.
I think that's probably the reason why they always end up going back and forth, because I think they both see each other in a certain light of like, we're both GOATs, and like whenever we play, it's basically 50-50 who's gonna win, like whoever gets the edge over each other. Which is why I feel like each tournament, like Leo went to set and then Spargo went to set. I think Leo definitely does have more sets over Spargo recently though. But I do know that Spargo, like, he's definitely mentioned that like whenever he plays against Leo, he feels that Leo can be as good as him and on his level the entire time. That's why he's always happy whenever he beats Leo, even though Leo hasn't been doing well that recently. So that makes sense why that happens and why Leo can take a lot of sets against him.
So let me ask you something. You know, we do a bunch of exhibition matches at certain tournaments. Not really in an exhibition scenario, but if MKLeo and Spargo meet 10 times in 10 different brackets, who do you think is taking the majority of that?
Oof.
I think Leo's probably taking like 7 sets.
What do you think, Phil?
I'm going to have to go Leo just because I think Spargo gets in his own head sometimes against Leo.
I think Leo takes more sets too, and I think that's so interesting because I think we can all agree that Spargo is definitely better than Leo right now.
Absolutely,
but
Spargo's currently better.
I think Leo takes those sets too, which is funny because I don't think Cloud Joker is like winning for anybody. I'm pretty sure this is an even matchup. I could be wrong, but the point is, this is like, it's not like a matchup thing. It's clearly,
Spargo hates Joker against Cloud. He thinks Joker destroys Cloud.
Okay, so that's good to know. So maybe it is a matchup thing, but I also just think like it's crazy because we do know. I think Spargo is a good amount better than Leo, but I think Leo would take that in majority. I would like to see an exhibition versus them. I don't really care about exhibition matches, but I would like to side bet that one. You know, I would side bet Leo.
Yeah, I would tap into that for sure, and that's not, again, it's important to preference. That's not a knock against Spargo at all because. We know Spargo is one of the elite players in this game. We love him, friend of the show for sure. But the bottom line is, when I see Leo versus Spargo, sometimes I feel like Spargo gets in his own head and he loses, matchups aside. You know what I mean? It's interesting to me that Leo got a major win this year before Spargo did. You know what I mean? That's pretty interesting.
I mean, but also, like, to your point of like, would Leo take more sets if they played 10 sets over each other? I feel like against the majority of even top 10 players, if Leo played top 10 players in 10 sets, I feel like he would still take the majority. That's kind of what I would think.
Against the majority of top players?
I'd give it to him against maybe except like Tweak.
Yeah, like that's the only person that I would say probably not, and maybe not Glutto. He might still go even with Glutto, like in a first to 10 sets. But like if he plays someone like Spargo, like I feel like he would even do well against Cola. I think he would beat Mia. I think he would do decently well against Sonics. Like I feel like he's just a player that is very fundamentally sound and very good at adapting. If he gets to play you for a while, he's gonna figure it out eventually.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is one of the best adapters in our game. I do think there are very few who can contest him if he plays you pretty often, which is probably why he's so good versus Spargo as well. I mean, they're from the same country, not the same area, but like they played a good amount of times. Leo's one of the first people to see like the vision in Spargo to see that he could like be a lot better. So yeah, maybe he has that experience. But I mean, sometimes it does backfire on him. I mean, Glutto's the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Glutto, interestingly enough, a tournament in France, Glutto was not in attendance. So Glutto will go to Japan to compete, come to America to compete. But when the tournament's in your backyard, you decide to take a break. Crazy, brother. You got to show up to that. You got to show up to that. No. Quiet. And I love Glutto. There's no disrespect to Glutto. You got to be at that tournament, Glutto. You got to hold your region down. That's like us rolling into New England and Light takes a sabbatical. Okay? I can't even imagine that. Glutto should have been at that tournament And now listen, I still stand, but the way Leo was playing, I think Leo might have finally broke that losing streak he's been on for a while against Gluto. But I'm just saying, we'll never know because he didn't show.
Man,
what was he like? Did he just say he's not going because he needs a break?
No, he was on vacation with his girlfriend.
Oh, all right.
Understandable.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Part.
Yeah. Shut up.
Details.
Yeah.
Details matter. Okay, you know what, Gluto? I hope it was refreshing. Hope you got a little spa in. You know what I'm saying? Walk the beaches. I don't know. Hope it was good, brother. Hope it was good.
Man, I would have taken that vacation too. You're an idiot.
Mistakes were made.
Exactly. I didn't get to see the top 8. Did Mars end up making top 8 after he got upset?
No. He got like 17th.
Don't do that. Like, okay. You know he didn't make top 8. Don't do that.
No, I actually didn't know if he did or didn't.
Okay.
But I didn't see the bracket. I actually would have thought he did make top 8. But I know he lost very.
Yeah, he lost to the Me Brawler Kid. Shouts to Kid. He had a great run too. Kid, great job. He lost to Kid, and he lost in losers for 17th to Flo. Flo was disrespectful when he beat Mars. By the way, you know he beat Mars and then he yawned on camera. He's like, he yawned.
Wait, did he actually do that?
Yeah. He yawned.
Don't fucking disrespect my boy like that if you really being like that, because we could talk about what I did to you at Genesis.
Talk to this man.
No, don't disrespect my boy like that, because honestly, if you really disrespected Mars, you weren't even worth my time, dude. Like, hold up. I will start this American Fresh War right now. Did that actually happen? Did he actually yawn?
He yawned, bro. He looked right at the camera and was like,
Bro, you better not be getting me talking shit about a dude for no reason, because you an instigator. You definitely the type of dude to instigate bathroom fights in school. So I don't know if you're telling me the truth right now.
On everything, bro. On Sakurai, I promise, bro. On Sakurai.
No, not on Sakurai.
On socks, boy. On socks.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. On Sakurai, bro. He was yawning.
Bro, I need a clip of this. I gotta see this dude yawning on the mic, bro.
I'll send it to you later. Maybe we can get it like put up in this conversation too. So
they told me, bro. I forgot which French player told me. They told me he was like 12th in France, bro. That's like 800th in the world, bro. Like, come on, ain't no way.
Well, look, I mean, he had a reason to do it because Mars did clown on him, apparently. You know what I'm saying? But
okay, so you applying context, bro. You don't apply context. Now you got me talking shit about someone with no context.
How does it feel? That's how I felt when I was talking about Gluto. You didn't mention he went on vacation with his girlfriend. Context matters.
See, now you got me starting a war for no fucking reason. What's going on?
And now the war has definitely already started because motherfuckers are gonna take that shit out of context.
Well, too late. I already 3-0'd him.
He did do that.
The war is over.
The war is over.
No, that's fine. You know why? He's gonna see this shit and he's gonna say something. That's fine, because it's gonna make him better, right? That's what that does. Makes him better. I become a target for him, so that's fine. We're not going to France, so he's gonna have to come over here. So
that's true. We're very good at motivating players. If you didn't notice, I know we talked a good bit about Leo there, which was impressive. He also used. I have to point out, he used Byleth as well. Against a Donkey Kong player. So he did use Byleth as well against DK. That was the only time I saw him use a different character in the bracket. And he won, obviously. So, Leo, all Joker. I still stand by the side that I think Leo could play 5 different characters and do fine. But, maybe I'm
at the same time?
Yeah.
You're stupid, but okay.
I don't think there's anybody in bracket that has ever done that, ever.
Play 5 characters?
Yeah, and do like really well.
I'm
like
sure
the only one I could possibly think of is
what is our definition of very well?
Top 8.
Yeah, what? I mean, the only person that I know that has played a lot of characters and gotten like decently top 8 at a tournament is like Rizeasu in the same tournament, which is the Japanese player. I don't even think Zachary has played 5 different characters in one tournament to do well. Like he usually focuses on one character.
What tier are we putting this in? Like A tier, S tier?
I think if somebody can top 8 an A tier or S tier with like 4 to 5 different characters, I think Leo could be the guy to do that.
I think it depends on the state of the game. I think if you said that same statement like 2 years ago, I think Leo and Tweak could have did it like no problem. But right now, I don't think that's very possible if we're like talking S tiers. There's just too many people who are like very good at the game right now.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll give it up.
Yeah, but
you know-
like Tweak and Leo were definitely ahead of the fundamental game at one point.
Yeah, those were good times, and they're still crushing it.
Weren't.
Yes, they are.
No, they
They're still
weren't.
crushing it.
Worse than I was before. I mean, even than I am now. Sorry.
Like,
Those were bad times, man. I didn't like when it was just those two. It's boring. Now it's everyone.
and it's harder.
Yeah, it's better.
All right.
I mean, the state of the game is obviously just taking a toll just because, like, you know, the game's getting old. But, like, this is the best it's ever been, honestly.
That's fair. I'm sure a lot of people would probably agree with that. Speaking of,
Lots a lot of people would agree with that.
look, yeah. Like, do you agree with it?
No, I don't agree with that.
Oh shit! Wait,
Even Game Awards, there's a lot of like the state of the game.
Game and watch anyway.
I'm glad I didn't hear what he said. The state of the game is like, I think a lot of people are very good at the game, but like the characters that people are playing are not as interesting as the characters that people were playing like before quarantine. And I think that would definitely be commonly agreed on. I do agree with you that like people are very good at the game, and like a lot of people are much better at the game. But the characters that people were playing before quarantine, I feel like were way more exciting. Like we had Riddles playing Richter and stuff.
Before you go, like, question Cosmos specifically, what characters are you referring to?
Characters, so character, yeah. In this current meta, there's characters like Min. There's more Game & Watches. There's Game & Watch secondaries. There's Steve, that's another character. Kazuya, even characters like Pirate Mithra. I know people don't like Pirate Mithra. I'm playing that character because I want to win. But in pre-quarantine, there was Pokemon Trainer. Everybody loves Pokemon Trainer. There was Wario. I mean, Light hates Wario. There was Wolf. There was Inkling. People were playing Richter. People were just playing like their soul characters back then. Now people are playing I want to win characters.
I kind of disagree with that. I still feel like most people are still playing their soul characters. Just the people who are playing those top tiers are obviously like showing out a bit more.
There you go.
But I mean, that's every game. Like if you're going to play the top tiers, you're obviously going to show out more, you know?
Well,
But,
yeah,
like,
but I think that's also what makes the game like not as interesting in the current meta.
I mean, what about Tweak, for example? Tweak's playing a soul character for him, and Diddy Kong is not even, I wouldn't even say Diddy Kong is top 15. If he is like 15.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely a couple of exceptions. Like you played Fox pre-quarantine, you're still playing Fox now.
Yeah. My point is, I don't know. That argument, obviously, it's very opinionated, but I just think, like, obviously the characters are going to be a lot more, like, diverse at the start of the game because it is the start of the game. We don't really know much. And there's, like, a lot of people just, like, expressing themselves throughout the game. And I think there's a lot of people expressing themselves throughout the game right now. But, you know, obviously more top tiers are going to be taking control. I just think it's more interesting now from a competitive standpoint. I don't know if you're talking about from a competitive standpoint or a viewership standpoint, but from a competitive standpoint, I think it's interesting now because I'm not really worried about what people's characters are. I'm not in my head about that shit. I'm just worried about who's in my way and how good my opponents are. Like, there are a lot of good players right now, and that is what's interesting because it makes you doing good even more rewarding than it was before. But, like, in terms of, if you said, like, from a viewership standpoint, I can get that. But competitor, there's more good players. I don't care about your character. That's what matters to me. I'm a bitch when I lose, but I mean, I bitched when I lose 5 years ago. So it's the same thing to me.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, what were you talking about? Were you talking about from a competitive or a viewership standpoint, or both?
I was talking about basically from both because like from both, I would much rather have played in the past meta versus playing now. Like even though my character does well against pretty much all the problem characters besides like Min, like my character does well against Game Watch, against Steve, against Kaja, and characters like that. It's still not fun playing against those characters versus playing Inkling back then, playing against the characters that were meta back then, pre-quarantine.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I think it'd be more like fun, obviously. Like if if there was still as many top players, but like there was definitely a certain point where like the mid-level wasn't even really worth, worrying about.
I mean, yeah, it definitely was true. Yeah. That's definitely true.
Yeah, now they're definitely worth worrying about, but like, bro, we had a gap on them for so long beforehand where like it just did not matter. Yeah. Which I think that is what makes this current day more fun. I also don't really, I'm a fortunate guy. I can't lie. Maybe it's because I don't go to the losers bracket too often. Like, and not like from like what I mean, like at an early like point in the like bracket. I go in like around like somewhere from like top 16 to like top 8 ranges usually. That's usually when I hit the losers bracket. I feel like all the bullshit that people hate is usually in the losers bracket, like the people who are in the winners bracket are usually the ones who are like, very good players, character specialists, it will only be usually one of that character, like giving your Yaras or like either like Onin, which I don't know if he's been doing good recently. I haven't been paying attention to him, or usually a Cola. You have me and Meister. There's only 2 of them. But then you go into the loser bracket and suddenly there's 4 Game & Watches, 5 Nesses there. So yeah, like 6 Kazuya's. Like, I feel like the losers bracket is like the problem,
I
mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from, because those characters, like those character players, do end up, even though they're playing those characters, if you're a mid-level or mid-high level player, like you're still going to end up losing to the top players if they're consistent. And then those characters will end up being in a loser's bracket. And then if you want to go on a loser's bracket run, you're going to be like, bro, I have to play 3 Game & Watches in a row because all the other top players beat those players. So I get what you're saying. That is reasonable.
Well, Cosmos, just stay out of the loser's bracket, you Jim. It's that simple. Right?
That easy.
Let's go.
That easy.
Sir,
it's that easy. Just be a top player. Just win. Sir,
I mean, Let's Make Big Moves for me was a good example of that. I feel like where I ran into weird matchups before you like get like losers bracket's weird because you run into the bad matchups before you get back in the realm of like, I guess your peers, because of course all top players have to lose eventually. Only one person could win. So around like 7th and 13th place, you'll fight like other good players. But like, for example, LMBM, my first match after Mr. E was after I lost to Web, I fought Mr. E, and then I immediately fought Jazo, which is a Ken, weird ass matchup. I hate Shotos, and I'm like, oh man, I could actually lose right here. This is a bad matchup. But after I beat him, I ran into what's the Minmins? I know Justice.
Yeah,
Justice the Minmin. Yeah. I ran to Justice, and I'm like, wow, for a lot of other people, this is it for them. Like he's a Minmin player who's solid. This is where they lose. But I play Fox, so I don't care. But like I see a lot of that wacky shit in the losers bracket. So I think that is where all them reside, So humbly keep yourself out of the losers bracket until like 17th place. I think you'll be fine.
Then you're playing top players again.
Yeah, exactly. You'll fight the non-bullshit, but the better players.
Yeah. But like that's one thing that like I kind of do appreciate about losers bracket, because sometimes whenever you play a top player, like if you are in top 32 winners and then you lose and then you immediately run into another top player, sometimes I feel like it's better to have the route of, okay, like I lost early. Now I can at least know that I'm scaling up. I'm playing mid-level player, mid-high level player, high-level player, top player, top player, top player. That's kind of how it feels sometimes.
I'd rather fight a top player into a top player than fight a top player lose and be like, how the fuck did ChunkyKong get here? Because now I feel like I'm about to lose to ChunkyKong. Like, I don't want to. I'll be real. I'll be real. I never want to fight ChunkyKong again. I fought him once. I beat him. And I love that set because I remember the reason he took a game off me is because he camped the Town and City platform. And in my head, I literally was like, this guy's so stupid. There's no way I'm going to jump up there. Like, I'm not that dumb. And I was like, you know what? I'm so much better than this guy. I'm going to jump up there and it's not going to matter. And I jump up there and I get back though, like at 40 and die. And like, he is a player. He's very good with Donkey Kong. Like people on his tier who like play the janky shit at a high level, they're in the losers bracket and I don't want to fight them. I want to stay away from those people. They're too good for what they do. So yeah, like I said, humbly stay in the winners bracket.
I think that was very well stated. There's also something that came out of that too that I wanted to kind of throw back a little bit to King Kong, because I don't want people to think that I don't give European players their due. He's a fan of the game, which means I'm a fan of the players. Raflow, This guy is reminding people why Palu is undisputably, undoubtedly, 100% locked in a top 8 character.
Yes.
100%. And honestly, with more representation, with the best representation. But anyway, we had it. But you guys know, Raflow, I think he might be the next big thing. I think he might be that guy. I'm not gonna lie. You whoop Mia's ass at Genesis, and then you come here and hold it down. Take Leo to game 5. Now I took Leo to game 5. I was watching that. I was watching GOAT play, and GOAT was performing, and I was thinking game 4, and Leo's gonna close it out, but it didn't. Raflow closed it out, and that gave birth to the legend of game 5. GOAT Leo was amazing. So Raflow, you're a part of history, even if you didn't win. But the fact that Raflow can compete and take it to that. Remember, Raflow beat Leo the last time Leo was in Europe too. So it ain't like Raflow, this is new to Raflow, but he is consistently stacking up some big W's lately. I like what I'm seeing out this kid.
Is Raflow and Bloom top 3 in Europe? Like, are they both top 3 in Europe?
Wouldn't it have to be Raflow, Bloom, and Gluto? Right?
Yeah, I'm guessing, right?
Right? I would think so.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Raflow is pretty good. I'm happy that I had the pleasure to play both.
Siski's second, apparently.
Siski? Oh, well, Siski's really good, too. Yeah. I forget that. I feel like I haven't seen Siski in so long.
Didn't see his ass in the top 8.
So amazing recently.
Yeah, Siski, step it up. I didn't
Samus. Say that.
I said it. I like Samus.
I think Samus is broken, but we've already talked about that.
We have, yeah.
We're not going to do that again. But yeah, so I like that I got to play Raflow and Bloom because I think they're very like interesting players. They definitely showed me like what the best can be brought out of their characters, you know? So I'm happy that I see Raflow doing good again. I'm still confused how he beat Mia. I want to see if they streamed the Mia and the Meister set because I want to know what those two did differently. Because I feel like that matchup's like pretty simple for like Palu, right? Like the game plan. I don't mean like it's easy. I just mean like the game plan's simple, right? But yeah, no, I think Raflow is a really good player. I'm happy to see that he's doing good in his country, obviously, and when he comes to America. I don't know what he's coming to anytime soon, but I want him to keep proving that Palu's broken because I've been preaching that Palu's broken since the dawn of time, man. That character is ridiculous. That character originally fell off because Nairo's not around anymore and people just went with it, and I'm tired of it because that character's stupid, and I want everyone to believe me because I hate that character. Truly, I hate that character.
This is a man who's lost a chase one too many times.
Bro, I can't even get my run back because it's not good enough to make it back to me.
That's why you need to start going to the losers bracket. You'll find him.
There's too many Kazuya's. Oh man, nah, but yeah, I really hope Raflow does keep doing better, just so he proves my initiative.
I like that. I think EU is. Did you know that Bloom went like pit against Sparg0 and took him to game 5 too? Like a combination of pit and Bayo.
I'm not surprised, honestly. I've seen Bloom play like a bunch of characters at like a very top level casually, and he just like laughs while he's beating people's asses with like these secondaries of his. It's very funny, actually.
Yeah. I'm always happy to see.
I know that at the France Invitational a while ago, he was playing me Brawler and he almost beat T. So I know that he has a lot of random characters in his arsenal.
Maybe too many characters, but not. That's King Kong. It was a great event, for sure. Leo winning, Sparg0 second, and just a host of other talented players for sure. Well, this does bring another question. Okay, so he wins King Kong, and I saw Leo tweet earlier today. He's like, it's going to be a very busy couple of months coming up, right? So I guess he's going to stay active, going to keep going to tournaments, which I love, by the way. Keep that up, GOAT. Do we see Leo continuing a streak of consistency? And that doesn't mean you win everything because no top player wins everything, okay? I'm just talking about like consistent top 8s to top 4s. Do we think Leo's, is this the start of something great? It's a week behind what we needed at Genesis, but nonetheless, do we think this is the beginning of something? I'll start with you, like.
I mean, I don't see why not. Like, looking back at the Genesis loss, it's like, what?
It just feels like we had this conversation over and over again. And you're like, whenever he wins, we like go back and forth, and then we think he's gonna keep winning, and then something just happens, he stops winning, and then we think like, nah, he's not gonna come back, and then he comes back.
The one time that's not shit, he did good. I've been preaching for so long, and I'm just sad. I feel like
Yeah.
I stopped, like I gave up on religion, and then like the rapture happened, and I was like, fuck.
Don't stop believing, son. Trust me. Don't do that.
But like Leo is well, I believe in God. I probably should not have made that reference. I'm so sorry. But yeah, anyways, the thing with Leo is like I'm not too surprised that he lost at Genesis, because he lost to like a Ken, right? And like
Titan.
He's always notoriously been very bad versus Shotos. So I feel like the people who just didn't know that were just like, oh, Leo lost, Leo's washed. But like, he's always been bad versus those characters, you know? And I probably fed into that a little myself. But like, it's not surprising when you really take the time to think about it.
It was best of 3 too.
Shotos. Huh?
It was best of 3 as well.
Yeah, no, that too. Which we're also, depending on the tournament, you're not really adjusted to. We have a lot of tournaments that start off at best of 5 now, which I'm so thankful for. But yeah, it really just depends on how you look at it. I truly believe solo maining is the route for him. I don't think Joker needs other people to help him. Like, I think the hardest thing at the top level that he would have struggled with was like Tweak. But we saw at LMBM that he was making changes and actually adapting. He didn't win, but you could see that he was adapting mid-set and like learning things. So like that even furthers my belief, where it's like, stop trying to do what you were doing before, where you're just relying on different counter picks, and just learn. You're like one of the best people at learning in this game. So just take the time and learn with one character, and you're going to do it. I think I went on a rant about this in like our last episode together, if you want to see more on that. But like, the point is, he can do it. He's one of the best learners. I think if he stays Joker, there's no reason why he wouldn't be consistently top 8ing. And, you know, you say like, obviously no top player wins every major, but I mean, if there's an exception, it would be him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, that was the case.
Yeah, it really wasn't that long ago. Like,
yeah, we make it sound like this is like an archaic thing, like, you know, in a distant past long ago. But no, this is only like, what, 2 years ago? Maybe a year and a half? Man.
It was like 3 now.
3? No.
Like,
Because he won Genesis.
We're talking like pre-quarantine?
No, he won Genesis, the last Genesis.
Like let's not say winning everything. It hasn't been that long since he was winning like every other major, like every 3 majors, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, even after quarantine, he was still always getting consistently top 2, top 3 at every tournament with Byleth for about 6 months.
Yes. And, I mean, he was just destroying people. I mean, he beat Sparg0 like in 3 different grand finals. So, like, to put him in his place. Good times. But, yeah, my point is, my car!
Oh, God. Hit the brakes, like.
What's happening?
Hit the brakes.
I gotta get this guy's license plate. Hold up. But yeah, no, I think he can do it. I don't see why not. But, you know, since I said that, I just jinxed him, and he's actually not going to do it. But yeah.
Fair enough. Cosmos, you think you can keep it up?
I mean, so we've always had this conversation, man. Like, we've always had this conversation, and we always, like, think about what our mind is saying and then go in with our heart. I think my heart and mind say that if he sticks, my heart says that he can. He definitely can if he sticks with Joker. My mind says that if he sticks with Joker and actually practices and like really tries, like he says that he is, he could definitely do it, because I do think Joker's a really good character, and I think he's a very talented player. Obviously, we've seen it in the past. The only thing is that I don't think we can necessarily really take King Khan as the example and set it for the future, because I feel like something that usually happens is Leo runs into problematic matches that he's had in the past. Like, whenever he runs into Riddles, it's likely that he's going to lose. Whenever he runs into Glutto, it's likely that he's going to lose. If he runs into Tweak early, it's likely that he's going to lose. If that ends up happening again, I feel like we could just see something happen again where he ends up getting 9th like he did at Genesis. Because Genesis, he lost really early. Well, he didn't get ninth at Genesis, but he was seeded to get ninth at Genesis, but he was seeded to lose to people that he usually loses to in the past, like Shuton and stuff. If he plays Shuton again, I don't know if he would really win. So what my heart says is like, if he plays Joker and really tries, he can. But whenever I think about what matchups and what players he would have to play against to get into the top 8 consistently, that's where I start to think, I don't know if he can really do it as consistently as he does before, because those players are really good now. Like has said now, the game is really hard now. People are very good at the game. Top players that were good at the game got a lot better at the game, which is why they're even more consistent now. So if he plays those players, I really don't know if he can like consistently beat those players. I do believe, my mind just logistically doesn't really know.
I am sitting here listening to this blasphemy and I can bite my tongue no longer. How in the world can we sit up here and say that these top players are getting better, they're getting more consistent, they're doing things they've never done before, without saying Leo can literally do the same thing? Have we forgotten who this man is? I mean, really, think about this. All this impressive shit. I'm specifically talking Cosmos. All this specific stuff that you say that these guys are getting better and better. They doing this, they doing that. Leo already did it. Matter of fact, let me take a look at this. It's called the motherfucking blueprint. And Leo gave it to him. So the fact that you can sit up here, Cosmos, and doubt the GOAT, to doubt what he can do, especially a motivated GOAT, it personally offends me. Okay? You want to see consistency? You ain't gonna believe the show he's gonna put on these next couple of months. I wish there was another Genesis next month so they could get that another ring that he's gonna stack. Motherfucker running out of fingers. You gotta go over to this hand. Don't you ever doubt my GOAT again.
I think
I
we
literally
should
said that he could do it though.
I think we should have a segment on our podcast. You know, like how like you could section each part of the podcast, like with topics. We should have a section for each part of the podcast that is just called like E's monologue, because you do this like once a podcast.
The people love it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think we should section it. I think people will skip to that part of the video.
And it's usually against me.
You're right.
Yeah, Leo can definitely do it though. I'm gonna do my best.
He definitely can.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to make sure he doesn't do it. But he can do it.
All right.
So we have had, moving on to a different topic of players who can obviously do it. We have had Zomba on our podcast a lot recently, right?
Yeah.
We've had him on like twice in like the past month, right? That's that's way too much for the kid. More than enough, especially on Black History Month. We're never doing that again. So I just want to talk about him real quick in a non-biased perspective. And what I mean by that is I think our conversations are always going to be a little biased when we have them in the call with us, you know? Okay. So now that we're talking about from a non-biased perspective, I saw a video, and I think it was an LG video. It's probably Goat Talks or the hell they call it these days. And the video was titled, Will Zomba Be the Best in the World? Right? And obviously I did not click the video. I had a podcast to do, you know? Recency bias pops up. A lot of people start to talk about like what happened at the last biggest event, right? And Zomba also proclaims that he's going to be the best in the world and all that, right? Obviously, he's lying when he's like, "Oh, I don't focus on this game," because if you ever talk to him for 5 seconds, he's like, "I've been studying a lot lately, and I get no pussy and all that," So,
oh my god.
So yeah. So, what do you guys think are the chances of him being the best player in the world in the next year?
Oof. You take that, Cosmo. You take that first.
Well, before we even keep going with this, what are the chances of him being top 5 in the world within the next year? We can go from steps there. And remember that this would not be the first time he's won a huge event and did not top 10.
Okay. You want me to go?
So,
or you got it?
No, I'll go. So the thing there's a couple things on my mind when you ask questions like that. Whenever you say, do you think he could be top 5? Whenever I think about characters that are in top 5 or like the very distinct top 4 players, because obviously we are like, okay, what many people could be number 5, but we know that Akola, Mia, Sparg0, and Sonics are top 4. So I'm like, there could be a top 5. But I see that like Akola's playing Steve, Mia's playing Game & Watch, Sonics is playing Sonic, and then Sparg0. He plays whoever the fuck he wants. But him playing Rob, I feel like Rob does fit into that archetype of characters that can basically pretty much do anything. So I feel like he does have like the character to make him be a top 5 player. The one thing that I know that I talked about a long time ago that I feel like was holding him back was his mentality, because I feel like he didn't have the best mentality in the game. And I feel like he definitely has improved on that a lot. And I feel like the reason why he's improved on that, I'm pretty sure he's talked about it too, was the fact that he's gone to Japan and just appreciates the different aspects of the game and how far the game has brought him as a person, like what the game has brought to him as a person. So I feel like the character he's playing and the mindset that he has now does give him a good potential to be top 5 in the world. I would not rule him out to be top 5 in the world. Would he be the best? Shit, I don't know. That's a hard question. I'm gonna have to say no, because those are some toxic fucking characters he has to play against. Even for a Rob main, those are some toxic characters he has to play against to be top 5, or to even be top 5. So to be the best, to beat the players that are in top 4. I mean, actually thinking about it now, he did well against Sonics. He did well against what's the other person? He did well against Sparg0. I don't know how well he would do against Mia and Akola, like consistently.
I think last time he fought Akola, he won, right?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, no, he's definitely beaten Akola before. I don't know if it was the last time, but he's not afraid of that matchup at all, too.
Okay,
he's not afraid of that matchup.
I think he could definitely be top 5. I think he definitely has the mentality for it. I think going for best in the world is definitely a stretch, but it's definitely not impossible because of the character he plays.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about Zomba, it's interesting because he has everything that when I think of a player that I want to be like a good representative, somebody who could be number 1. He fits the mold pretty well. He plays a character that's very well rounded. He has an unlimited amount of confidence, and he's just amazingly talented at the game. Like this guy behind me. But
like
the thing that I think would hold him back is sustained consistency. What do I mean by that? So we saw what he just did at Genesis, right? But if you go back like a month before that, a couple weeks before that, his ass is having to win locals through losers bracket because he just ends up losing to, not random, but like obscure Mega Man players, you know what I'm saying? Luigi's. Yes, he did win, but but if you put yourself in that situation on a larger stage, you're putting yourself in a much harder situation to win that tournament. Like, even though he beat Sonics in Grand Final, Sonics did reset. It got a little dicey there. So I think for Zomba for me to say, oh, okay, he can be like definitively number 1, he's going to have to have sustained consistency, not just bursts of it. Like he's on right now. He's on a burst right now. You know what I mean? When he first went to Japan, he was on a burst. Tipped off a little bit. Bursting again. I need sustained consistency because that's what you're going to get. I would say it's a minor miracle what happened to me and not making top 8 at Genesis. All right. But besides that, I think he's going to need sustained consistency. And I don't know if he's going to have that yet, especially at the higher caliber events. I'm not rooting against him because I love Zomba, but I need to see it first. That's my opinion.
That's a very good opinion. I like that point of view. I think the consistency thing.
Sorry. I just want to say that's low key at this current moment, kind of how I feel about Leo right now. I feel like he's having burst, and then like he just needs sustained consistency.
Yeah. Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah, I mean that's a common problem people have I think for Leo, it's a different reason than Zomba. I think for Zomba, it's just a mentality thing. Where for Leo, it could just be the state of the game, how long he's been the best in the world, the wear and tear of being the best for so long, probably getting bored, learning about real life, So I think it's very different. Yeah, I think it's very different perspectives. I think a lot of players in the last couple of years who are in the same age group learned about real life and had that phase where they dipped a little.
Wait, since I have Void here real quick, I want to ask a quick question. I'll let you answer and I'll let them answer. Who's going to have the longest burst streak right now? Coming off 2 big wins. Is it going to be Leo or is it going to be Zomba? Who's going to have the longest burst streak right now?
I think Rob is just a much more sustainable character than Joker. Regardless of both players' skill levels, I think they're both fantastic. But I think it is significantly easier to be consistent with Rob than Joker, in my opinion.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when he's losing bad matchups. Or like not like bad matchups, but like I could pick up Luigi. I mean, no offense, but I could pick up Luigi and learn how to combo Rob in a pretty short amount of time. So I just need to become a decent enough player. I can hold my own against Zomba. Right? But I feel like with Joker, sometimes you're just fighting the top tier threats and you're having a problem. Rob doesn't always have those problems.
That's a good point.
Joker is just Wolf with Arsene.
What did I say?
Joker's just
No, okay.
That's OD.
I've never heard some shit like that before.
Okay.
Joker is Wolf with Arsene.
Oh, okay. A little bit, yeah.
What is? Yeah, see, he sees it. He sees the vision.
I don't see
bro.
it.
It's
you don't
there
see
somewhere.
How do you not see it?
You don't see that?
Right. Ask Void to explain how he sees it.
Okay, can you explain
how I see Joker in general?
Like Joker, the Joker Wolf comparison.
Oh, I mean, you play pretty good. Honestly, I think Wolf has trouble killing. I'll be honest. I think Wolf at the top level has trouble killing because everybody's like, oh, I mean, he's up smash, F-tilt at ledge, dash attack. And Joker, base Joker, actually, in my opinion, also has a really hard time killing. So it's like, you can play a really good neutral game and you can survive for like a pretty long time. But other people have a lot more outs against you, especially with how people are punishing Arsene recovery even better now. But Arsene has a lot more highs than Wolf, so he at least ends up elevating himself for certain parts of the game. But sometimes you just get hit off stage and you explode. But on stage, you're like a menace. It's like neutral Fox. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, see, man. Joker is just Wolf with Arsene, man. I knew he would see my point of view, you know?
Like the same outs. Like, when you're fighting Joker, he doesn't kill you that much. You know? Maybe he gets dash attack at ledge. Backer at ledge goes at like 130. You're fighting all these heavy-ass characters nowadays. It's not as easy as it was.
You see, Cosmos, I know you can't really understand the perspective of the top level.
Oh, God. Leave Cosmos alone.
Oh, my God. One night, place the same man, Ume, brother.
We don't talk.
I'm as good as it.
Appreciate it, homies.
Oh.
Yeah, Umebura.
Oh, God. I think Light just got hit again. Are you there? Light, the sun is setting on you.
God.
I got you, bro.
Oh, my. Oh, my God.
Bring up the warning sign. Bring up the warning sign.
This ain't bad. I can't see his hair.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
It's been worse. That's the scary thing about this. I'll say that. Okay. I think we could put a bow on it there. That was a good conversation. We'll avoid cameo as well.
Oh wait, who do they think's going to do better between Zomba and Leo?
Oh, that's true. I didn't answer that actually.
Yeah. I actually agree with Void because one thing that we were talking about at Genesis was like he was telling me that I think is it Rob like the definition of ultimate? And I was like, no, I don't think so. But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? You're right. He literally is ultimate. So I think if Zomba is playing the game fundamentally well and he's playing Rob and he's in like the right mindset, I feel like it's really easy for Rob to be consistent in this game. I think the Rob is big allegations isn't really going to be like that propaganda is not going to be preached anymore. People are just going to be people are just going to start realizing that Rob, especially with the new tech that like got discovered with the or got I guess discovered with the B thing, all that. Who the fuck is that?
What the?
What
Charles? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, we're recording. Are you kidding me?
Now we know what happened to tongues.
Whoa, what was that? What was that?
Bro, he came in with such a dad camera angle too.
Oh my god, bro!
I'm done.
You win, Chuck. You win.
Oh man,
what were we talking about?
I don't know. Let's just end it there, bro.
Let's call it there. Because I don't even know what to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Lights Out. Episode 48, the big 5-0 episode is coming soon. If you want to support us, go ahead. I'll raid you. If you want to support us, please make sure you're like, comment, and subscribe to the content. And check out the Patreon. Those funds will go directly to literally getting light into a home even sooner. We're going to do our tier list episode exclusively on our Patreon. So please consider checking that out. We have a couple awesome videos up there already. So that'll do it for us here. You already know. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
bro, low key, I had more fun doing this episode than I did like on somebody's scuff setup.
Shut up, Jim. Get this man a house. Patreon.